Best of r/malicious compliance episode 96. Subscribe for edit videos daily. Short version: because I am at work, I had asked my manager via note, I work overnight and don't see her often, to please ask my co-workers to be decent people and stop making a mess of my organized and clean work area. Since I am the full-time person for this station, it would save time if people would just clean up after themselves. I have to note this freed up time is used to essentially put away product for her. Any trucks not put in the storeroom/cooler, make more product people on day shift didn't get to, and cleaning/organizing. Didn't refer to the stations as mine, just used their company given name. Didn't blame a specific co-worker at all. The part-time employee who covers my days off is a notorious pig. Won't clean up after himself. Uses all supplies and never refills a thing. He was so lazy about his job duties and getting things done, management took him off night shift. He, for some reason, is one of the few people my manager is fond of. Her response to my note was pretty much this: no, get over it. Since you are the full-time employee for this job, take a few minutes and clean it yourself. Mr. MaliciousCompliance doesn't go near that station or use the supplies there. He goes to the storeroom and pulls what he needs as he needs it. So I am fuming because now I am doing her trucks, the chef's job, my job, bringing supplies from the back of the store to our department, putting said supplies away, and cleaning/organizing, and she can't do her job and manage people? She can't get grown-up people to tidy up after themselves? Mr. MaliciousCompliance is wasting time going back and forth while she watches. I will take a few minutes and clean up the station. So I emptied the entire station of the supplies I use and put them in the storage room. Cleaned the station. I will go get what I need as I need it for now, unlike the oof who covers my days off. Small and petty, yes, but I do unto to others, right? Thank you. Next. Friend doesn't have Reddit. I thought it would be fitting in this sub. I work with financing. My work consists of looking at my appointment calendar to see if I'm booked for a consultation. Usually your day consists of checking your calendar to call people for their appointments, which can get pretty busy since people need a lot of help and such. Well, about a few months ago, we got a contract at a different state. All we had to do was to call a list of people and offer them the services we were told to do. So my manager basically told me and 6 other people to stop the normal day-to-day operations and jump on this project, which I happily obliged. Empty calendar meant I could work on my own pace. As a side note, most of the people on this list are actually listed down as speaking my language. I'm the only one in my whole department who could speak it, which meant 50% of this project relied on me completing it. Well, it just so happens that for this month's list, we were told to put on pause because of the whole COVID-19 issue. So we didn't, proceeded to help with the local calls instead. There was one problem though. My co-worker, who we will call E, decided to be lazy about it. Instead of helping clear the calls and help concerned people, she decides to dump all the appointments on me and the rest of the crew for the special project. She saw my empty calendar as an opportunity to lessen her burden onto me, which was not following protocol since we had a system to go fill in and it randomly selects an agent to book the appointment to. This way it's somewhat fair, and if the person needed a specific language, we can speak it. Problem is, although I was asked to help out with the incoming calls of Q&A, I was also expected to finish this list by the end of the month. The way it goes is, every project gives our company more grants. More grants means more money. More money means happy boss. So I told my manager about E and how it wasn't fair that she was directly booking me for the foreseeable future. Manager said they'll talk to E, but to no avail. I was still being booked. So I complied. I stopped fucking around with the list and did all of the scheduled appointments. He decided to fuck us over by calling out an entire week, so I decided to book each and every call I got from the incoming calls. For any small matter, I booked it. E comes back with a healthy glow from vacation and is shocked to be bombarded with so many notifications, all pointing to me. She goes to my manager and starts to bicker, so of course they pull me aside. Manager, did you book all of these appointments for E? Me, yes I did. E, see what I mean? She's not following protocol. Me, yes I am. You've been booking me for weeks and I still do my appointments. Manager, wait, you're not working on the list? The due date is next week. Me, I told you he was booking me and you told me to help with the calls. So I did. Needless to say, I'm now back to doing my special project and he is still trying to clear her schedule. TL. Doctor. Co-worker was lazy so she dumped all work on me while I was supposed to be on special project. I was told to help out with calls, so I did. All the while booking co-worker's schedule for close to all eternity. Thank you. Next. Just discovered this group. You are my people. I have so many stories I could tell. Malicious compliance has been my life's work. Perhaps my first ever comes from my AP US history class circa 2008. This was the very first ever AP US history class at the school and so it was a bit of a pilot program. The teacher, Mr. K, was a favorite of most students in the school, but as I would learn always seemed to have trouble with one specific kid every year. Here is where I come in. I took the class, not because I needed it, but because I had a hole in my schedule and couldn't take another study period. I'm a big history buff and had a feeling it would be a breeze. It was. In his class I never took notes. 1. Because I didn't need to. It was almost all stuff I already knew, not a smart brag. Should see me in math. Ick. 2. I learn better as an active listener when I take notes. I'm more focused on writing than learning. One day he says something off the cuff like OP, am I boring you? Or do you think you know everything? He didn't expect me to answer with the latter but it got a chuckle. Move on to a few days later and he asks me to stay after class. Apparently I was disrespecting him by not taking notes. I explained my situation. I'm on the debate team. I get a lot of practice in learning by listening, stuff like that. He huffs and tells me I need to take the class more seriously. It's worth noting I had a perfect score in the class several weeks in. The next day I show up and do my usual thing. Sit and listen. No notes. He tells me to go to the office and wait for him after class. A whole thing happened there and naturally the VP just says, is it that hard to just write some stuff down to make him happy? Alright. Yep, I can do that. It's Friday so I have the weekend to plan. I show up to his class on Monday and sit in the very front up against the side wall and hide my malicious compliance props beside the desk. The biggest memo pad the office supple store had. 4 FTX2. 5 feet approx. And a pen that I constructed that came out to be around 4 feet long as well. He starts the class, shoots me a dirty look, turns to write on the whiteboard. I whip him out, and the entire class erupts in laughter. He turns to see me deadpan ready to take notes. OP, what the hell is that? It's my notepad, Mr. K. I'm ready to take this class seriously. What was that you were just about to say about the invention of the assembly line? Got kicked out again. This time talked to the principal. He laughed. Asked if I thought I could pass the AP test without the class. I said yes, and I was pulled from the class permanently and given an extra study hour. FTR, I did pass the test. Also worth noting that this teacher had earlier accused me of plagiarism, which flew back in his face as well. TL. Dr. Teacher took offense to OP not taking notes in his class. Sent OP to vice principal. Next class OP showed up with a 4-foot tall memo pad and 4 feet long pen to take notes. Sat in front of class. Kicked out again. Thank you. Next. Considering implementing a temporary gag on anything corona/COVID related. I don't think we're going to have much in the way of that, but also would love to have this be one of the subs people can come to when they're annoyed with the news. Thank you. Next. Short and kinda silly but I think it's funny. When I, F20, was about 14 my mom worked a ton and I was in charge of my younger brothers, 12 and 10 at the time, and the household. One of these jobs was getting the mail. Now, you can probably guess that kids that age aren't the most responsible so mail would just get left places sometimes. One day my mom got tired of trying to find the mail, rightfully so she told us to only get the mail if it was addressed to one of us. We complied and 6 years later I still only get mail out of the mailbox if it's for me, even if she's home. It drives her nuts but I just find it kind of funny so I still only grab mine and my brothers do the same. Thank you. Next. My mom is the oldest of 6 kids. She believes in efficiency, compliance, and productivity. She's warm, loving, and kind but also doesn't like to be questioned. It's years of raising children. She doesn't want to waste her time. Do the work quickly and move on. Her dinners were never gourmet meals. In fact, she really hates cooking. Food was edible and balanced. It was fine. I was a young teen. Dinner that night was pork chops. As an obnoxious young teen testing my boundaries, I decided I didn't want to eat pig. My efficient, "Don't question me" mother was not happy. "You like pork chops, just eat your dinner. How am I to know what to cook for you when you change your mind after I prepare the meal?" To make it easier for her, I stopped eating meat that evening. 30 years later and I'm still a vegetarian, all to spite my mother. Honestly, I have other reasons at this point. I was only a spite vegetarian for the first 10 years. Thank you. Next. When I was a kid I would loudly vocalize when I was hungry and tired of waiting for dinner. My parents at the time were using hot sauce to try to stop me from talking back. I never cursed when I was a kid. I would just get really annoying and pesty when I was hungry. I would cry in pain from the hot sauce, then my parents would give me a slice of bread to cool my lips. Soon I started actively trying to get hot sauce before dinner so I could get the tasty bread slice. My parents stopped using hot sauce when they realized that I had evolved into hungry crow chick levels of demanding for food.